Well, today marks Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday, and over the past few weeks, and this one especially, organizations he's done incredible work with are celebrating the longest living president by giving back. Here's ABC's Danny New.
To honor a man who has spent decades volunteering to build homes for others, it would make sense on his 100th birthday to build some more. This week, as America's 39th president, Jimmy Carter, reaches centenarian status, more than 1,000 people are volunteering with Habitat for Humanity in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
After his lone term in the Oval Office ended in 1981, Carter and his wife, Rosalind, who passed away last November, began a new chapter of serving the country. In other words, they got to work on volunteering. A few years later, they set up the Carter Work Project with Habitat for Humanity. They also established the Carter Center, which just hosted a huge benefit concert a few weeks ago in the Georgia native's home state. 4,000 gathered at the Fox Theater in Atlanta watching performances from bands like the Peach State's own, the B-52s. That concert will finally air today, but so far it has raised more than $1.2 million for the international programs of their foundation. However, you will not see America's longest living president in the audience. He remains in hospice care where he has been for over a year and a half now.
The tumor was only about 2.5 cubic centimeters.
It's hard to not be inspired by the nation's first former president to reach the century mark. In 2015, he announced that his skin cancer had spread to his brain. Thanks to his relative health and strength, as well as then new developments in immunotherapy, he was able to beat the odds. Now, as the country spends today celebrating the resilience and selflessness of its longest-living former commander-in-chief, here is how he'd like to be remembered.
Well, I'd say peace and human rights and treating everybody the same has been what I hope will be my legacy.
Not surprisingly, President Carter has the record for living the longest after his time in office at 43 years and counting. Up next is Herbert Hoover, who lived for another 31 years after his term until the age of 90. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.